Warren losing it on a stalling point.
Boy, lots of bruises as Trevor Ernie, very, very strong. Maine Endwell, Section 4. Quite a representative for the whole section and did a nice job. State champion.
So that does it now at 119 pounds as you look at some of the coaches and the officials who are literally at mat side here at the Onondaga County War Memorial. They've set up the basketball court underneath the mats, which provides a little bit of a springiness. Certainly takes away some of the hardness of the concrete floor.
But as you could tell in that last match, Dave, when you really hit those mats, it still isn't really all that springy. But there's Gene Mills, a man who knows a lot about mats and how hard you can put somebody into them.
Another guy you wouldn't want to mess with on the streets.
No.
Now at 126 pounds, we've got Darren Cummings, a senior out of Smithtown East, against the all-time winningest wrestler individually in New York State history, Marty King of Canandaigua, now a senior, and Marty looking to repeat as a New York State champion. From the Wrestling King family of Canandaigua.
Should be an interesting matchup. Lots of times I saw Dan Hunt and some of the other wrestlers, some of the greats from this area wrestle, and some of their matches in the States were not all that close in terms of their ability. A lot of people thought that they would really go to town, but lots of times they had close matches, so we'll see if it happens in this match.
Marty King en route to the finals has had 2 pins and a superior decision at 22-4.
That's I was going to say. However, Marty King seems to break the mold when it comes to that because...
Well, the introduction of Marty King brought out a huge round of applause.
If he wins, he would certainly be my candidate for most outstanding wrestler. A lot of schools looking at Marty King.
King is on the left. Still on the left there, Cummings on the right. Neither wrestler has lost this year. 68 wins between them.
And Cummings is 102-15, so he's no slouch. There he's got the leg, going to try to keep him in. King does, yes, he'll pick up 2. Takedown. Takedown and a nosebleed. And King was bleeding right on the arm of Darren Cummings. So they're wiping off Darren Cummings' arm. No injury there, Mrs. Cummings. That's the opponent's blood.
Marty King had a brother who was also a state champion a few years ago who had probably the most appropriate name any wrestler has ever had.
That's right.
Matt King.
The best. This is the kind of one where if you've ever been an official, Dave, this is the one where you hope that somebody like Cummings doesn't go out and put King on his back, and you're the one that has to go down and say you're pinned. Right there you see that King, there's the injury, but this is that tough time when you don't want to see that happen, of course. You'd rather have him just go out and not make any mistakes, but we have seen people get caught. Some of the better wrestlers can make that one mistake and get beat by someone who is not their equal.
All right, the repairs the cotton in the nostril of Marty King, who's on top now and leading by a score of 2-0.
King resumes where he left off. Tried to kick through kind of a Granby roll. Didn't work. King in control. Looks like, he gives up a point. A little sloppy, maybe. But King is very, very confident as we go down to 1 minute left in this period. One of the things the wrestlers don't want to do is make that one stupid mistake. It's bad enough when you're going up against such good competition, but I don't want to do something where I'm going to get caught and put on my back. but you've got to be aggressive. And that's one thing I would note that most wrestlers, as we get a stalemate call, most wrestlers who are successful at this level, Dave, are generally the ones that are the most aggressive. Now, that doesn't always happen, but generally that's what happens.
37 seconds remaining here in period number 1. Again, it is the bloody nose of Marty King. And now they'll have to wipe the blood from his nose as well as from the mat. Dale, is there any limit on how often the match can be stopped?
Good question. I've never seen it happen, and I've seen them stop a lot for bloody noses. They've got going to put cotton in that side again.
Is there an injury time limit?
Yeah, the nosebleed does not count as an injury time. If it were a strain or something or a sprained wrist, then you have a certain amount of time to come back, 2 minutes. But in this, there isn't. You can have as many bloody noses as you wanted to.
Darren Cummings with his back to you. He is in the blue. Marty King wearing the purple of Section 5.
Marty King, one of those people who has been in this since he was in junior high school, Dave, and that. Can you imagine being an 8th grader and coming in and wrestling 12th graders and doing all that well? And Marty King certainly did in the past. I believe that when he was in 8th grade, he took a second in the States.
We're wrestling at 126 pounds now, and that's the end of period number 1, a period stopped twice on account of nosebleed suffered by Marty King. And again, he's showing the claret flowing from the nostril.
You notice he's got good height, too, a little bit taller than his opponent, Darren Cummings. Sometimes you'll see that as a advantage, and sometimes it isn't. King moves quickly from the bottom, doesn't get out right away, but he makes a good, substantial, positive first move. And he is countered very, very well by his opponent, Darren Cummings, who just picked him up, took the leg out, and brought him down to the mat. So only a 2-1 lead for King. This may be one of those matches where the man who is the overwhelming favorite does not actually overwhelm his opponent. They can't, I think he's got blood coming from the other nostril, but you don't want to put cotton up both. It's going to create all sorts of breathing problems.
Marty King is wrestling in the state championships for the 5th year in a row. As an 8th grader, he was 2nd at 91 pounds. As a 9th grader, he was 3rd at 91 pounds. Then as a 10th grader, he was 4th at 112 pounds. Last year, he became a champion at 119 pounds, and here he is now at 126.
And he is trying to get away from Darren Cummings, but Cummings doing a good job, takes him out of bounds. 1:13 left in the second period, and King only up by 1 point, 2-1. So
now he's got to tie his shoe.
Give Darren Cummings, this could be one of the longest matches of the night. Darren Cummings credit. He's doing a superb job, but he's been undefeated this year. He's got over 100 wins. He's got 102. So, as we say, when you get up to this level, you got no patsies. Referee, apparently, the whistle didn't blow correctly, so we're going to get a stop again.
This match being conducted at a staccato pace.
Cobwebs could form on the cameramen if they don't. But, oh, nice move. Head to half, a little risky, and King is going to shrug it off and maybe come out.
Does he reverse it?
Yes, he does now. Thought he might go for the cradle, but King picks up 2 on the reversal. They're both standing, Cummings and King.
A little more breathing room now for King.
King gained control. They're going to go out of bounds. But Cummings being very, very aggressive. And once again, King's nose, now Cummings' nose is bleeding also. You know, they used to put that cotton up the nose, and now they leave a bit of it hanging out because wrestlers get the wind going and they suck those up right into the nostrils. So they trying to be very careful with how they do that.
Let's see if we can catch that last action one more time. Here it is.
He got the takedown when he was standing. You can gain control like that. You don't have to bring him to the mat. He got the points, and then they went out of bounds. So it's 4-1. And now they're working on King right there, trying to stop the bleeding in his nose, applying pressure to the bridge of the nose. possibly maybe got a little fracture, took a shot on it. Broken noses are not that unusual in wrestling. Did you ever break a nose, Dave?
Did you ever take a good look at it, Dale?
Yeah, I was going to say that the cure is worse than the break, you know, but I don't know if we have that right now, but we certainly have both men with nose problems. Now he's got it up both nostrils, so now he's going to be breathing through his mouth.
Well, Darren Cummings has one nostril plugged up. Here's a good look at Cummings, and right behind him is Marty King.
It's like some sort of a costume. All right, now King on top, in control, but he's going to lose it momentarily. 1 point, yes, Cummings right back in at 4-2.
We're in the second period, under half a minute remaining. Marty King leads Darren Cummings 4-2 at 126 pounds.
See the clock winding down, 15. Cummings trying a little bit of muscle. Looking at the clock, that can be disastrous sometimes. Both men look pretty good on their feet.
The end of the second now, and it's a 4-2 lead for this man, Marty King of Canandaigua, and he'll be on top.
It's funny when we were talking about, you know, people would say, my gracious, this has got to be, with all those wins and stuff, you ought to just go out and pin everybody, but it doesn't happen that way. A lot of those wins, I'm sure, have been 1- and 2-point wins. Though he certainly has gotten his way into this final rather easily. A little bit of trouble. He got a little bit too high. He's going to lose points.
In danger of being taken down.
He's going to give up. He started on top. He started in control. Oh, good move by King. Because he was on top. And it looked like he might be reversed.
Marty King, who pinned Willie Parra in a minute 42, Lee Stalters in a minute 53, and then 22-4 over Peter Sartori.
Definitely a different match against Cummings, as Darren Cummings is down by only 2 points. They're going to call a stalemate.
Darren Cummings with a pin in 3:59 over Jim Washington, a 25-3 decision over Keith Pappas, and a 10-2 win over Annabelle Neves.
So neither one really pressed to get here. That's Cummings on the bottom. Nice shot there. A good picture of Cummings. And the man who came in on his back, the man we've been talking about, King. So Marty King on top, 115, and he will be a state champ for a second time. But Cummings has got a lot to say about it. Hand control. He's got a hand lock. You saw Cummings call that. Cummings gestured that he had his hands locked. He's going to be up. It'll be tied. One for an escape, one for a hand lock. That's 4-4.
That came about awfully quick.
Well, he sat out, and he couldn't get away, and he looked down, and he saw that King had his... They're going to start the injury clock now for this nose. They're starting it for King.
It's not bleeding, the official is saying. It is not bleeding. That's why they're starting that injury clock.
See him pointing at the hands right there? He said, there you go. That's an illegal hold. And now watch him get an escape. That gave him 2 points. One for the illegal body lock, one for the escape. And now they started the injury clock because they said, as you said, David, it's not bleeding, so it doesn't count as a bloody nose. He's going to have to take his injury time.
And as Marty King got some liquid refreshment, spit it out, and he did not spit out any blood. So apparently the bleeding has stopped. We're tied at 4 now. 50 seconds to go, period number 3.
Good match. Oh, nice ankle pick.
King fought it off.
Cummings went right for that ankle. Both men good on their feet. This should be exciting. 38 seconds, 37.
You don't want to see a stalling point awarded here.
No, I don't think you will. Neither man seems to be in a position to stall, although King